Don't say it if you don't mean it. We've all heard that once in a while over our lives. It's like, well, don't say it if you don't really mean it. What do people really mean? Well, that can be hard to tell sometimes. And apparently, over the scope and course of thousands of years of humans developing and everything, we now have the internet. Over the past 20, 30 years, over the past 100, we've become accustomed to basically taking the voice inflections that we've heard over the telephone and being able to decipher those things. And even still, we have problems. So, I mean, apparently 280 characters is more than enough to convey an extremely complicated, at times very controversial topic and have most meaningful discussions with people we've never met before. That's satire right there, in case anybody didn't happen to know there. I'm sorry, I can be very bad at that sometimes. But my whole point is, I see a lot of folks saying things, and okay, if that's what you truly mean, if that's what you truly believe, good for you. As long as you ain't trying to hurt somebody else, that doesn't overly bother me for the most part. Now, what we get into is, are people saying what they truly mean, what they truly believe, or are they simply saying things because they heard other people say it, and a lot of folks that they know are saying it, so they just kind of go along with it? Here's the problem. If that happens, if folks are simply speaking what they think everyone else just wants to hear, that's giving us a false frame of reality. And the big thing we need right now is to just brush off vanity and show reality. For better or worse, even if when it becomes uncomfortable, sometimes we got to go to that hard place. Because if we don't go to that hard place, are we actually solving anything? For so many years, you just hear all these folks railing against each other. And what's the actual change? Oh, budget goes up by 2%, it goes down by 2%. It's like we're treating money like it is the only solution. Yes, it does help things, but is not the only solution. If we actually want to make systemic changes to the system to help make it be more equitable, be more fair, to help maximize and increase opportunity for everybody in these United States, we got to look at the system itself. I see a lot of hating on the players. Where's the hating on the game? Why? Because Rule 14 of the internet, everyone loves a good dumpster fire. I mean, I enjoy a good dumpster fire too as well, and I absolutely contribute to them in part, and sometimes probably wholly as well. But the big thing right here is we can do better. We will do better. We got to do better. Because if we don't, it doesn't look like it's going down a really good path. I mean, is anybody really happy with the current meta that we're in right now? The country is red hot. We have the ability to mold it right now. People want to have their right to speak freely and protest their government for redress of grievances. But at the same time, while people may be able to speak, they also need to be heard. That doesn't necessarily mean do absolutely everything that people say and everything. No, we got a constitutional republic, a representative democracy and everything. But it's up to us to choose individuals that are going to be brave. And you know what? If this was a simple solution, I think it would have been solved by now. I mean, otherwise, then you're just talking about people just starting problems and attempting to managing problems. I mean, that would just be freaking wrong. And especially if that was discovered, people continuing to do that, especially after folks pointed out, well, that sounds like a problem to me. But I digress. Part of this comes up with, I see a lot of folks saying things. And no matter what side somebody's on, no matter what cause they're supporting, if they're trying to help people, if they're trying to help be fair, and if they're trying to help increase rights for one another, I don't really see anything wrong with that. And to strictly demonize somebody for disagreeing with you, do you know that person? Do you know their history? Are you only seeing the 1 minute, the 2 minutes, the frickin' 2 screenshots or photos of them at their absolute worst? Do you know what they've done? Do you know who they've helped? Do you know who they've influenced? Should we all be judged by just the half dozen worst moments in our life? I mean, I suppose we can start to do that for a lot of folks now because we got the internet, and we all know rule 2 of the internet is forever. But what if we changed that? What if we flipped the pyramid on its head? What happens if we actually started to flatten some of these hierarchies here? It's like, yeah, it seems to be a natural thing that occurs, but I'm pretty sure we can do better. I mean, we got the internet now. We can actually hear what the folks want. Now, that also goes hand in hand where, yeah, you can say what you want, but yeah, you might have freedom of speech. Doesn't always mean freedom from consequences. But at the same time, do we actually mean that? Because we all know nobody would ever criticize somebody else and for something that deep down they know that they've done or try to repress that they forgot about. Because, I mean, I believe that's a near-clinical term for projection. And we all know nobody would ever do that. I am not a doctor, psychologist, or anything like that at all. All I know is don't say it if you don't mean it. Because then that's going to help influence other people as well that maybe say things that they don't mean. And if a lot of folks believe that folks are doing one thing and then things end up going completely different because folks didn't actually mean it, what have we solved? Have we solved the problem? Or we just satiated people? We've made people feel comfortable for just a couple of minutes there. And then what happens? We put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Sometimes you gotta go in for surgery. But thank you all for watching. Peace out, everybody. Be safe. And long live the elbow bump. Boop and boop.